Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Yalek, and I did a video a few days ago about a bunch of practice hits I have been doing on a base that has been very generously offered as a practice base. This is New Student, whom I know from the unofficial Boom Beach forum. All of these guys are from there. Crows everywhere though. Anyway, so these guys have been putting bases out there for me to challenge, and some of them are just ridiculous. Somewhere down here there is Whirlwind. Whirlwind has no offensive statues, so Whirlwind and Funnel Cloud, I take it, are the same person. Whirlwind Visit. Whirlwind is a 10-10 ice base. He only, with 2 gens, he only brings this account here for me to try to wail on it. And I will be honest, I have not been able to take this one down yet. Part of the problem with that is that my statues are not optimized on this account. This is my lowest level account, so I've had the least amount of time to build up statues, and so I have a gunboat 35 on this account. This is pretty decent. That's a 31, and I think this is 30, so there's 5%. Well, I'm missing 10% with the boost because it's doubled. So I'm missing 10% there, and I'm missing 10% here, and all of that is to say that that is definitely making this harder, because this stuff is really precise. And this is the base that I think it's the same player I showed the other day. He has a new arrangement with, I beat him the other day with when he had 1 shield generator at the back of his base. Now he has 2 spread to the sides. This is a 5-5 base, I believe, and as you can see, since it went to 2 gens, when it was 1 gen I could beat it, you know, 80% of the time, I think. It's a fair, yeah, more often than not, unless I screwed up, and I still do screw up from time to time, so, you know, that happened in there too, but I could beat it pretty predictably, reliably. When he went to 2 gens, man, yeah, look at all that. That is all this afternoon, by the way. I boosted up everything on this account, because I'm going to do an op hit for them in a little bit, but first things first, I wanted to hit this base, and I've spent an hour of my boost, an hour and 5 minutes of my boost doing nothing but hit this. I think I tried Whirlwind once or twice, the 10-10 base, and laid off that. But just like the margins on this are so tight, and I finally figured out a formula to win. And then, and I mean, I think I won with like 4 or 5 warriors remaining left on that first win, and I wasn't happy with that, because it seemed like it could have been a fluke. So I kept going, sort of refining the formula, and these were a much better set of hits following that 1 win. That formula seemed to be working, and I'll show it to you in a bit. So I kept going until I could beat him again. I think I'm gonna lay off now. It's enough practice for the day. I could keep going, but it's obsessive, and I need to stop and just go do other things and have a life and stuff. But this is a 5-5 ice base with twin gens, and even with my sort of under-level equipment, the hits seemed promising enough. It was close enough that I figured I had to keep going, and I had to find a way to beat this base. And we have finally figured out the formula for feeding this base. It's a very interesting formula, because, I mean, I had tried everything. I had tried just going with minimal mine clearance and just running the warriors from side to side on the base. Being that my GBE is a little short, I kept running out of smokes, even when everything was done ideally and I wasn't wasting along the way. And you can't do much of that on a hit like this, because the GBE is so fine. Even when I wasn't wasting along the way, I was still not, removing the fewest mines possible, I was still not getting, or I wasn't even getting close to the HQ. I need to be able to get to the HQ with at least a shock and preferably a med kit, and that's with both shields down. Nice thing about either side of this base is that I can arrange so bullet can negate one of these shock launchers, and you'll see that later. one of the hardest things about this base, I mean, besides that guy. Oh, he's down to... Oh, no, he's up to 6 ice. I thought this was 5. That's 6-4. Okay, anyway. So one of the hardest things about this base, other than that, and the fact that there are 2 shields, but 2 shields by itself means almost nothing. It's the arrangement and then the defenses around the HQ and so on. But one thing that New Student here has done that is really smart, and you might consider copying it because it is a giant pain in the ass. You'll notice below, and I don't see a lot of people doing this, so this is a good trick, so pay attention here. You'll notice below his shield generators, over here he's got a 5-5 production building, he's got an iron mine, and as it happens over here, he's got another 5-5 production building just below his shield generator. That is an excellent spot for those, and let me tell you why. Because, first of all, let's say I'm running up from the beach over to this shield generator, and my warriors are going to follow along this wall of the base. Okay, I'd prefer to get there in 3 or maximum 4 smokes. You're going to see me go to this direction a bit later, and that is because I can definitely and reliably get there in 3. Here, it was more often taking me 4, and that's, you know... Hey, that's GBE that I don't have right now in order to do other things. This is fully lit, of course, as you probably know. Everything's lit. So the health on the shields, you can see that those are 85, 84,000. The ones on that 1010 base were pretty much 100,000 spot on, and I couldn't even BART them out. These I couldn't even BART out because I just didn't have the GBE left to... It doesn't take a ton of GBE. If I had like maybe 60, 65 GBE, I could BART out that one shield generator and come over here, handle this one manually, and get up to the HQ with, like I said, a shock. But I didn't have that much GBE left over. I was having 40 GBE left over, and one time 30 GBE left over, and it really makes a difference how lucky you get on your barrages. And obviously, in some cases I was not getting lucky on my barrages, which means extra artillery and so on, more GBE that I don't have. So I gave up on that route, which means going back to original plan of removing a shield generator and then trying to pound through the other half of the shield. And the reason that is an option here, the only reason that's an option, like, it doesn't really matter which way you approach this base from. You have the same situation in both cases, which is that, like I said, either one of the shock launchers will be negated by bullet if you put him in the right spot, because he will be standing 3 and I think a third. I think his range is like 3.3 or 3.5 tiles, like a heavy. So he's going to be 3 tiles would be the width of this machine gun, right? That's a 3-tile building, 3x3. So he's going to be standing just behind the machine gun and well within the blind spot of the shock launcher. Over here, same thing. So we can negate one shock launcher on our side, on the bullet side of the HQ, and on the far side of the HQ, in both cases, we'll look at them both, you only need 1 shock for warriors. We're going to medkit through these rocket launchers, just keep medkitting and keep taunting, and then we need 1 shock. Really, we need to get these 2 buildings, the machine gun and then this shock launcher, but we're also going to try to get the boom cannons and the sniper, especially the boom cannons, because they will be picking off warriors one at a time, and we need warriors out there. So it's the same situation over here, and pretty much the same lineup of buildings. The mortar and the rocket launcher are not too big of a deal, so really we just need to keep going with 1 cycled shock there. I don't even know how many times I have to go ahead and hit that shock. It's a bunch, because this takes a while. And without further ado, that's the plan. Here's the hit. It got better, like I said, as it went. Oh, so the 5x5 buildings, you're going to see something really weird here. So why that is such a good placement for those, first of all, it forces my warriors to run out and around. They will split around that building. When they're standing here at the lower tip of the building, they're not all going to go one way. They're going to do their very typical warrior thing and decide to split up. You go this way and half goes the other way. Which means that those warriors are now going to be running way the heck out here, as opposed to a 3x3 building there, which would keep them in a nice straight line. Now they're gonna bounce way out around that building, and they're gonna pop into view for things like rocket launchers and flamethrowers to pick them off. You don't want that. And here's the even worse bit. That's bad on the run up, but you can manage that with your smoking. The worst bit is that in both cases, Bullet ends up standing next to the 5x5 building. If you flare him to this shield generator, he's going to be standing back down here-ish next to this sawmill. And then same thing over here to this shield generator. He's going to be standing down back here, sort of between this mine and next to the iron mine. When you go to flare the HQ, towards the HQ later, I kept having this problem. I kept flaring up to the machine gun because that's really a good spot to keep my warriors running skinny, and then to get Bullet in the landing spot where I want him. Bullet standing down here would take a very, very different path to the HQ from my warriors because of this 5x5 building. So he's standing back down here. When I flare up to this machine gun, the warriors would just go straight up to the machine gun. You know, they would follow a path somewhere between these buildings. And Bullet, on the other hand, because of where he was standing, he did not follow the same route. He was going back the other direction and walking out down here. And of course, none of my smoke is going to be down there because my warriors all went the other way. Yeah, so Bullet just kept running out into the middle of the base and dying, and he would do that from either approach. So these 5x5 buildings in that location are actually genius. So you're about to see me do something really weird to start this attack. Like I said, I tried barding shield generators. I had tried barding rocket launchers and doing it that, you know, I tried a bunch of different things. Here's the solution I hit on. Oh, nope, not that one. I mean, we could watch that one, but I lose. There are a lot of those. This is hard. This is really hard. I mean, it's so much fun, and I really do appreciate New Student, Whirlwind, all of these guys really just letting me wail on their bases. But this is really, really hard. So check out what I decide to BART here. And first of all, note, I decide to BART the iron mine because I'm trying to get as many of the mines that he has hidden in that area as possible. It took an art and a barrage just to remove his goddamn iron mine. That's how much health things have on this stupid base. On a no-ice base, that would be a shock launcher. 1 artillery, 1 barrage. That takes out a shock launcher. On this base, I can barely remove an iron mine. And a few mines that way. Crazy. Just nuts how iced up these guys get. These buildings are just insane. So anyway, I barred out the iron mine because I was running into the problem of I was taking too much damage on the run up here to this shield generator, and my med kits are not maxed on this account. I think I just looked at them and they're level 15. They do not do the job very well. So I was running into the problem that I was just losing too many troops to his mines along the way because the medkits weren't healing everybody back up. And he did have a bunch of his mines in that direction were very, very good for defending against this. So, yeah, decide to BART out the iron mine. And then I'm going to use some critters over here to attempt to remove, well, definitely the boom mine, but I'm going to try to remove these other mines too, if possible. So that my warriors can actually do their thing. And that's it. So this is how I choose. I mean, normally you BART out defenses. You know, you BART out. Part of the reason this probably took so long is that it's really counterintuitive. Oh, sorry, I did clear one more mine. I was hoping this building would drop because it already had some damage on it, and I would get the extra GBE from that. But guess what? There's so much ice here that it didn't. Using Bullet for a shield. So let flag Bullet up the beach before you flare him over here. That's to try to keep more warriors alive and save GBE in the process. Got all 3 of those mines with the critters on that one. Didn't realize that. Good job, guys. Go get some. I mean, every little bit counts with something like this. It's crazy. Perfection. Absolute perfection. But it's fun to try. So 2 swings because of all the ice, and then flare up, like I said. The run just goes so much better with that building gone, and Bullet not deciding to run off into random places. I'm going to medkit pretty early up here, and you'll just, because the medkit, it's just the health barely moves with the medkits. I didn't realize how bad it was, so there was another medkit, and just refreshing taunt, medkit, and then shock back over here. That's it. That's all I'm paying attention to. And there was another medkit, because with all of the ice, this rocket fire, the mortar fire, that's pretty serious for these warriors to take. So you have to be like continually medkitting, which is not something I've really had to do before, but with a base like this, with that much firepower behind it, yeah, it's necessary. Oh, the jerk smoke at the end. I had just that much GBE left over. At least I got a little bit of dignity out of this one. Like I said, the other one, I think I had like 4 warriors left the first time I beat this. This one, you know, all right, that's legit. I actually did have, you know, like a third of my warriors left there. I'm gonna go do my op hit now, and have a nice quiet evening. And yeah. Really, really cool that these guys are letting me do this, but god damn it, these bases are just insane. So, kind of humbling, I guess. Like, I show my warrior stuff all the time to show, like, what's possible with them, and you know, people think I'm really good at this, and I guess I am, but turns out I could be a whole lot better. Anyway, I've had over an hour's worth of fun with that at this point, an hour and 20 minutes, because I'm telling you about it. And that's been my evening. So, yeah, I'd consider that an evening well spent. Anyway, I'm out. I'll catch you later. Like the video, thumbs up, whatever. Drop me a comment. Once again, thank you, new student. Very much appreciate the test dummy base, basically. All right, I'm out. Take care.